It's an honor that every college player dreams about, but only few get to live. The Heisman Trophy.
Imagine this. You're standing on that stage in New York City, hoisting college football's most sacred trophy above your head. Flashbulbs exploding, the world at your feet. You're untouchable, the greatest player in America. NFL millions are calling your name.
2012 winner of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Johnny Manziel.
Then reality hits like a freight train. More Heisman Trophy winners have never played a single NFL snap than have made it to the Hall of Fame. 14 legends erased. And the ones who did make it, too many became the punchline to a cruel joke. Today, we're exposing the most brutal flameouts in football history. The superstars who became nobodies. The golden gods who got destroyed by the NFL. This is the dark side of glory nobody warns you about. The Heisman curse isn't just superstition, it's statistical reality with a psychological twist. Think about how this award works. Sports writers and former winners vote for the Heisman. They watch highlight reels. They read stat lines. They fall in love with stories. It's subjective, emotional, reputation-based. Meanwhile, NFL scouts are studying film until their eyes bleed. They're measuring hand sizes. They're interviewing position coaches. They're quantifying every weakness. The result? A consistent pattern of overvaluation. From 2003 to 2008, Heisman winners went 1-5 in bowl games. When they reached the national championship as favorites, they crumbled. The pressure of being the guy became suffocating. And that's just college. The NFL? That's a completely different beast. The curse hits quarterbacks hardest. While running backs like Barry Sanders and Marcus Allen became legends, quarterbacks struggled to translate their college magic. Why? The speed of the game, the complexity of NFL defenses, the unforgiving nature of professional coaching staffs that won't tolerate mistakes from a golden child. Some players peaked too early. Some played in systems that inflated their numbers. Some simply weren't built for the professional level. Others, and we'll get to these, had demons that had nothing to do with football. Let's meet our cast of cautionary tales. Picture this, Houston, 1989. Andre Ware is dropping 517 yards and 6 touchdowns in one half against SMU. The final score? 95-21. He's averaging 427 passing yards per game while sitting out most fourth quarters because the Cougars are up by 40. He finishes with 4,699 yards and 46 touchdowns in just 11 games, setting 26 NCAA records. He becomes the first black quarterback to win the Heisman. The run-and-shoot offense is revolutionary. Ware makes it look easy. The Detroit Lions draft him 7th overall in 1990, pairing him with the previous year's Heisman winner, Barry Sanders. It's supposed to be destiny. It was a disaster. The Lions don't run the run and shoot. Coach Wayne Fontes has no idea what to do with Ware. Over 4 years in Detroit, Ware plays just 14 games and starts only 6. His final line? 1,112 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He completes barely half his passes. The Vikings sign him in 1994. They cut him before the season starts. The Raiders give him a shot. They release him after several games without ever activating him. The expansion Jaguars create local excitement by signing a Heisman winner. They cut him the week before the season begins. Ware bounces to Canada, then NFL Europe, desperately searching for something that resembles his college success. He never finds it. The perfect example of a system player. Ware needed the run and shoot like a fish needs water. Take him out of that environment and he couldn't adapt. The NFL exposed every limitation. Arm strength, decision-making under pressure, reading complex defenses. He was spectacular in one very specific system and completely lost everywhere else. Gino Torretta was a winner. At Miami from 1989 to 1992, he went 26-2 as a starter. He threw for over 7,000 career yards and led the Hurricanes to 2 national championship appearances. His senior year in 1992, he throws for 3,060 yards and 19 touchdowns while winning every major award: the Heisman, Davey O'Brien, Walter Camp, Maxwell Award, and Johnny Unitas Trophy. Miami's 58-game home winning streak? Torretta was the quarterback. He set conference records for lowest interception percentage at 1.94%. Against West Virginia, he torches them for 363 yards and 2 scores. The only blemish? That national championship loss to Alabama, where their defense completely shut him down. Here's a stat that tells you everything. Gino Torretta never started an NFL game. Not one. The Minnesota Vikings draft him in the 7th round, 192nd overall. That should have been the warning sign. In 2 years bouncing between Minnesota, the Seahawks, and NFL Europe, Torretta completes just 16 passes in 2 games for 41 yards and 1 touchdown. Torretta is the answer to a great trivia question. Which Heisman Trophy winner never started an NFL game? He was a product of Miami's talent factory, surrounded by future NFL stars who made him look better than he was. Without that supporting cast, he was exposed as an average NFL prospect at best. Jason White's story is one of incredible perseverance. At Oklahoma, he overcomes not 1, but 2 ACL tears to become one of the most prolific passers in college football. In 2003, he throws for 3,846 yards and 40 touchdowns, winning the Heisman. He gets more votes than Eli Manning. Yes, that Eli Manning who'd go on to win 2 Super Bowls, and Larry Fitzgerald. The Sooners roll through the Big 12 behind White's arm. He's a gunslinger with remarkable accuracy despite his reconstructed knees. White goes undrafted in 2005. Not a single team selects him in 7 rounds. The Kansas City Chiefs give him a tryout, the Tennessee Titans give him a look, but White's knees are shot. He can't move in the pocket. He can't scramble. The injuries that he heroically overcame in college become insurmountable in the NFL. He decides to retire before ever playing a down, choosing to preserve what's left of his health. This one's not really White's fault. His knees simply couldn't hold up to professional football. In another era with modern medical technology, maybe he gets a shot. But in 2005, teams looked at his medical file and saw too much risk. White proved you could overcome adversity in college through sheer will, but the NFL requires your body to cooperate. Troy Smith owned college football in 2006. At Ohio State, he threw for 2,542 yards and 30 touchdowns with just 6 interceptions. His dual threat ability made him lethal. He rushed for 204 yards and scored another touchdown on the ground. The Buckeyes dominated, and Smith ran away with the Heisman voting. Then came the national championship game. Florida's defense absolutely dismantled Smith and Ohio State, winning 41-14. Smith threw for just 35 yards on 4 completions with 1 interception before getting benched. It was one of the most humiliating performances in championship history. NFL scouts watched that game and saw the future. Smith falls to the 5th round, pick 174, where the Baltimore Ravens take a flyer on him. Over 4 years, he appears in just 20 games, starting 8. He throws 8 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. He gets cut, bounces to San Francisco for a brief stint, then washes out to the CFL where Montreal eventually releases him. Smith was a very good college quarterback who looked completely overwhelmed when facing elite competition. That championship game showed NFL teams he couldn't handle pressure or adjust to sophisticated defenses. His size, just under 6 feet, didn't help. The NFL found him out quickly. Eric Crouch was Nebraska's option quarterback extraordinaire in 2001. He passed for 1,510 yards and 7 touchdowns while rushing for 1,115 yards and 18 touchdowns. His combination of speed, elusiveness, and toughness made him unstoppable in the Cornhusker system. The Heisman was his in a landslide. The St. Louis Rams draft him in the 3rd round, but as a wide receiver. Crouch insists he's a quarterback. The Rams insist otherwise. The standoff continues until a hard tackle causes 150 cubic centimeters of blood to be drained from his leg. Crouch leaves the team before ever playing a game. He resurfaces with Kansas City in 2005, converting to safety. His stint in professional football is brief and largely unsuccessful, a far cry from his dominant college career. Crouch was a classic tweener, too small to be an NFL quarterback, too stubborn to accept a position change early enough to make it work. By the time he agreed to switch, he'd lost valuable development years. The NFL has no patience for players who can't adapt.
Matt Leinart was supposed to be a sure thing. At USC, he piloted one of the most dominant teams in college football history,
His 2004 season, 3,322 yards, 33 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, completing 66% of his passes. He won the Heisman while leading the Trojans to a 13-0 record. His accuracy and decision-making were NFL ready. Or so everyone thought. The Arizona Cardinals take him 10th overall in 2006. Over 6 seasons with Arizona, Houston, and Oakland, Leinart throws more interceptions, 21, than touchdown passes, 15. He goes 8-10 as a starter. He never solves the speed of the NFL game. His accuracy vanishes. His confidence erodes. Leinart is the poster child for a game manager who looked great surrounded by elite talent. At USC, he had future NFL stars at every position. In the NFL, he had to make plays on his own, and he couldn't. He also dealt with questions about his commitment and work ethic. The Golden Boy discovered that NFL gold requires more than just college pedigree. Johnny Football, the first freshman to ever win the Heisman, Texas A&M 2012. Manziel threw for 3,706 yards and 26 touchdowns while rushing for 1,410 yards and 21 more scores. He became the first player in SEC history to pass for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 in a season. He was electric, unpredictable, unstoppable. The Cotton Bowl victory cemented his legend. The Cleveland Browns traded up to grab him at pick 22 in 2014. What followed was one of the most catastrophic flameouts in NFL history. Over 2 seasons, Manziel completed 57% of his passes for 1,675 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He went 2-6 as a starter, but the stats don't tell the real story. Manziel partied instead of preparing. He missed team meetings. He showed up hungover. Over 20 sources within the Browns questioned his work ethic. An anonymous player called his rookie season a 100% joke. His most memorable moment? Getting benched after going 3 for 8 passing in his second start before a hamstring injury provided an excuse to pull him. The Browns released him after just 2 years. His agent dropped him. Nike ended their sponsorship. A grand jury indicted him on misdemeanor assault charges. He bounced to the CFL, AAF, and fan-controlled football, burning every bridge along the way. Manziel had the talent. He lacked everything else: discipline, maturity, commitment, respect for the game. He later revealed his bipolar disorder diagnosis, adding a tragic element to the story. But on the field, he simply couldn't or wouldn't do what was necessary to succeed. He's the cautionary tale every college superstar should study. Looking at these failures reveals clear patterns. Ware, Leinart, and White all thrived in specific college offenses that NFL teams didn't run. Without their comfort zone, they were lost. White's knees, Smith's height, Crouch's size, the NFL exposes every physical flaw. College coaches scheme around weaknesses. NFL defenses attack them relentlessly. Torretta, Leinart, and Smith all looked amazing playing with superior talent against inferior competition. The NFL is 53 rosters of elite athletes. There's nowhere to hide. Manziel's off-field chaos destroyed his career before defenses could. The NFL demands professionalism that some college stars never developed. Crouch proves that refusing to adapt is career suicide. The NFL doesn't care about your college position, it cares about where you can help them win. The Heisman measures college excellence. The NFL measures professional potential. Those are often completely different things. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Winning the Heisman Trophy might actually hurt your NFL career. The expectations become crushing. Every mistake gets magnified. Coaches expect instant results. Fans demand immediate stardom. The patience that develops normal prospects evaporates for Heisman winners. Look at the quarterbacks specifically. Since 1950, more Heisman-winning quarterbacks have failed in the NFL than succeeded. Meanwhile, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. Kurt Warner went undrafted. The trophy doesn't predict professional success. It often predicts unsustainable pressure. The running backs fare better. Sanders, Allen, Dorsett, Walker became legends. But even then, the success rate is maybe 50-50 at best. For every Barry Sanders, there's a Rashaan Salaam or Archie Griffin. The Heisman remains college football's ultimate individual honor. But NFL general managers know the secret. That bronze trophy doesn't guarantee anything except headlines and jersey sales. So what happened to our fallen heroes? Ware became a respected broadcaster, calling college games for ESPN and working as the Houston Texans radio analyst. Gino Torretta works in finance, managing institutional clients. Troy Smith bounced around minor leagues before retiring. Eric Crouch returned to Nebraska and works in the Omaha area. Matt Leinart transitioned to broadcasting with Fox Sports. And Johnny Manziel? He's currently trying to rebuild his life, speaking openly about his struggles with mental health. These men achieved something extraordinary. They were the absolute best college football player in America for one magical season. The NFL just wasn't written in their stars. If you want more stories about how college dominance doesn't guarantee NFL success, hit that subscribe button. We've got draft busts, one-hit wonders, and legendary flameouts coming your way. The Heisman Trophy is beautiful, but in the NFL, it's just another piece of hardware gathering dust while reality writes its own story. What's the biggest Heisman flop you remember? Drop it in the comments.